This is Android development number 9 for Swinburne students. This is the final video where we'll just quickly go through creating intents and opening up new views. So basically what we're going to do is create a new intent that will specify another class, open that view and send through some data with the intent. So this is all based on the developer Android tutorial, which is available online. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use our, just as a proof of concept, we're going to use our name. So when they click Save Name, it opens up a new file, it opens up our new view and passes through the username. Okay, so we're just going to use that function, that method we've already built, save username. So if we just go to our Java file and go to save user, oh that was lucky, save username, we're just going to use this is fine, and then we're just going to underneath actually make it so it opens up the new view and displays our username, saying your username is username. Okay, so what we're basically doing is an intent is something that says I want to do something. So normally another activity, but it could be it could be another application or something as well. So it's intent object, and you might need to import in order to fix this if it shows an error in a minute, and we'll just call it my intent. Equals new intent, and what it wants is an activity. So we're passing through this because our class that we're working on now extends an activity, and so by saying this we're giving it itself, we're giving it an activity to work with. So this is the calling activity, and this is the activity or the class that it's going to run. So we'll call it display username dot class and give it a semicolon, and then we need to give it some data. We're going to give it some information to carry through. So we're my intent dot put extra, and we give it a name, and the name can be extra message, which we'll make, you could do as just a string value, but we will make as a a public static constant, and then the value that we want to pass through is just our username. So we're just going to pass through our username. You'll have this error and this error, that's okay for the moment. And then finally we want to actually start the intent. So that's start activity, and then we give it our intent. Intent. Okay, so the only thing left to do in this document is we've got to change it so that extra message is a public static final string. So it's something accessible outside the application, but it never changes. It's just, it will always refer to this extra value. So it always will allow us, any other application, any other view, to get this value as an extra by only knowing this class's extra message variable. So we'll just declare that up the top here. And so as I said, it's a public, public final, because static, so it's not going to change between multiple versions or multiple instances of this activity. String, and then its extra message equals, and we normally use our package name, normally use our package name dot extra message. So I'll just copy this, get it exactly right. And so that means you could use this string quite easily instead of using a variable. So you could use this string in here as this is what the put extra is called, this is what the message is called, but it's just a bit easier to use extra message. Okay, so now we've just got this one error, which is display username, and that's because we haven't created a class called display username. We haven't created that yet. So what we're going to do is we are going to create it. So we'll go File, New, and just click on that so it brings up the wizard, and we'll just create an Android activity. So not a new application, but just an activity, and we're going to create it inside this paper, scissors, rock one. It will just be a blank activity, that's fine. Now this is where we actually set the name, and so we'll call it what we wanted before, display username. So it's going to match exactly it's going to match this exactly what we put in here. Okay, and then the hierarchical parent, if you can set this, you might as well, and you normally set it to our main activity, so our paper scissors rock main activity, and that way it knows to jump back there. And the title of the new activity you could set here as well. I might just put a space in there for niceness. Okay, finish. And it performs the changes, it changes the XML, it does the work for us, which is great, and we end up with just a paper scissors rock empty hello world page, which is excellent. All we're going to do is change the ID of our hello world variable, so you might actually have to grab the ID of something else. We'll just have a look at our other activity main and just grab a similar ID. We just need that app ID bit, and it's sometimes better to copy it than type it in yourself. Just freeze, just so you get it exactly right. So we'll click on this, we'll set its ID to text display username, and I'll just copy that as well. Oops. And now we're just going to change this activity so that when it loads, it automatically displays our username. So if we go to our display username.java, we can see here that we've got a onCreate, which is when our page is loaded. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go intent, my intent equals get intent. And so what this will do is it will actually say whatever's run this intent. Is it intent? It is intent. I spelled it wrong. Intent. Oh, we might have to typecast over this side. So, oh no, we shouldn't have to. It should return it. Unless I've spelled it wrong. I'll just copy from over here, because I'm seem to be struggling. I'll just do new intent for a moment and just see if that gives me the option to import. Yeah, okay. So I just needed to import. It didn't know what it was yet. I should have just done a quick import, but that's all right. Okay, and now we'll go string message. So we're going to get the value out of our intent. So we'll go my intent dot get string extra. So it's the type of extra we've put in there, and then we can go main activity dot extra message. So see, instead of having to know .com, .example, .paper scissors rock, .extra message, instead of having to know what string that is, we can just refer to the public static string, public final static string that's available to us. Okay, and then we'll just display this on the page. So we'll just do the normal thing of getting a view by ID. So text view. What do we call it? Text. I'll just copy and paste so I get it exactly right. So we're just going to display it on the screen, which you've done many times before. Text display username. And this one we do lowercase. Equals text view, we're typecasting, find view by ID, and we use autocomplete to help us here. Oops. And text display username. Excellent. And then we'll set our text display username to set text. And it can be your name is, and our message. So what we'll end up with is the when this view's loaded, it will pass through, or when we click save name, it will pass through this message value as part of the intent, and display this page. We'll just save them all, give it a run, and see how we go. Oh, you'll notice now that your error, the display username error, is gone because it matches this class. Okay, so we've got this class display username that matches. Oh, if you get this error, you can just delete it. Get action bar, just trash it. And I'm not sure what this error is. You might have to do a clean and build. Anyway, let's give this a run and see how we go. So as I said, this is the last of the Paper, Scissors, Rock series, and from this point on, there'll be different. I'll try and create some different tutorials, but they'll just be single-purpose tutorials. As you've probably noticed, our code's getting quite excessive by this point. So anyway, if we enter our name using, of course, the keyboard provided, and hit save name, we'll open up our new view, and your name is Jude. Excellent. We haven't got any built-in navigation, but I think you can use back or something if you want to go back. Yeah, and try it again. But basically, that's the way we open up multiple views, and you can have views kind of go back and forward and all of that kind of thing, passing information between them. All right, thanks for watching the final video, and I'll see you in class.